And welcome. It is so nice to have you with us. This is Cannabis Talk A to Z. And this is I like to call this our educational odyssey. And I had the good fortune, there are conferences that are happening all over this country when it comes to cannabis. And there was just one in Boston last Friday that I had an opportunity to go to. And it was a very interesting show. It was the World Congress of Cannabis. People from all over the world were there. And it really is so, I have to say that this is a new world for me. And exploring this new world, going up and down the aisles, there are so many facets to this industry. Because you have people that are it's a wonderful thing because you have people supporting the growing side, and then you have people supporting the security, and then you have paraphernalia. But there was very little paraphernalia, I have to be honest, very little, but more about quality of growing your product and what you need to grow a healthy plant, and from lighting to special fertilizers that were designed in organic and nature. And so, and then there was the New Frontier people, which bring us incredible data every single week, and they have all kinds of great information that I get emailed. And all of these different groups that are working to give us information, because it's about information. Without education, without us educating ourselves, there is no point in any of this. Do you understand that? For me, and I can only speak for myself in my own journey, which has been a very interesting rocky road, I have to tell you that this was not, if you said to me 2 years ago, 3 years ago, that I would be doing a show called Cannabis Talk A to Z, I would have said, you are absolutely crazy. My own evolution, my own world through education has changed. And now I am immersed in this new world because I have information. I have the facts. I talk to incredible people. I've been reading books. I have been studying. I've been doing all of these things because it's not right for me to not know what the true facts are about this industry. And this industry holds so much promise. And I'm not talking about the billions. You heard me, billions with a B, billions of dollars. I'm talking about, more importantly, I'm talking about how it affects the economy, the mental and physical state of each and every one of us. At some point in life, and I just heard about a professional football player who just recently retired, who was sharing his story, and I'm going to try and get him on this show. He was sharing his story publicly about the use of how cannabis, all forms of it, the THC, which is the part that gets you high, and then the CBD, the part that does not get you high, the hemp, cannabidiol. The CBD and the THC changed his life and how he manages pain. And it was for pain, chronic pain. And I think when you hear a professional athlete speak, what they go through every single week, especially football. Oh my gosh. I mean, I look at some of those plays and I think, holy moly, um, Edelman and Danny Amendola from the Patriots come to mind. When they get banged around, they're small guys, and they look like a rubber doll on the field. You just like wonder, oh my gosh, what their bodies and their heads are going through. And so, and by the way, we have a doctor, Mark Lewis, who is so brilliant, who's been medical doctor researching brain concussions and the role of CBD. Yeah, hemp, CBD, the role of CBD has on our brains, and how it helps heal. So I have to say that I'm impressed with the research from all over the country and all over this world. But getting back to the story, so this professional football player was sitting and sharing his stories of how every week what he went through, and now he gets relief because he didn't want to have to take opioids. He didn't want to have to take pills to zonk him out and for him to become addicted. And I think that for us, education is the way. And so we try every week to bring you the cutting edge information from doctors, from practitioners, from lawyers, from everyday people who have shared their own stories with cannabis. And their stories are riveting, their stories are compelling, and some of them are funny. But through it all, I believe in my heart of hearts that CBD has the ability to restore the body in a way that nothing can come close to it. And if you have sleep issues, I'm just saying, and pain issues, you might want to look into it. And CBD is legal in every state. It is a legal product. Hemp is taken over the supermarkets. You can get hemp water. You can get hemp seeds. You can get hemp protein powders. Hemp ice cream. You can get hemp. I mean, the amount of hemp that's now out there. So I started to share about the education. So we know that hemp and hemp plants are being grown, that farmers in this country are getting back. Michael Bowman comes on all the time, coming back to the earth and really and truly using the farming industry and bringing it back with these beautiful plants that are making a difference in so many lives. In so many lives, this plant makes a difference. So we continue to talk about this, learn more about the amazing properties that this hemp plant holds, and in some instances THC as well. And I think that at some point, wouldn't it be awesome to have the research and the studies that are happening right now become public, and everyone starts to see the powers of cannabis, the powers of this extraordinary plant, and how it has been held down for so many years with prohibition. And that prohibition is ending. 29 states right now have some form of legalization. And it's truly going to be the future. Financially, socially, medically, spiritually. It really is. And we're going to take a quick break. We'll be right back. I'm Frankie Boyer. This is Cannabis Talk A to Z with Frankie Boyer. Stay tuned. Check out frankieboyer.com, and we will be back in just a moment. And welcome back. It's Frankie Boyer. Cannabis Talk A to Z. And part of that is, as I was just saying, is the hemp story. It's a big story. And it's a very big story. Joining us, because he even created a public relations firm around hemp, and that's our good friend Mark Goldman. And Mark, tell us the name of the PR firm.
Sure, it's Hemp Public Relations, and you can check it out at hemppublicrelations.com. Happy Friday. It's my favorite day of the week. Why? Because it's Cannabis A to Z.
Thank you so much. I was just sharing with everybody about my own evolution and how I have, become so much more involved in this industry from the very early days of my having a not really understanding the facts, not understanding that there are people that have a wonderful opportunity to get well, and they're not, because their doctors may not understand about it. And so
right, either that or they're just super conservative and they don't get it.
Yeah, they don't get it. So I was saying the key for helping this whole country in the evolution that we're in right now is to actually become educated. And so if you wouldn't mind just sharing your personal story with us about, because I think people need to hear the power that cannabis holds. And I was talking about...
Obviously, I have a personal story that I could share with everybody, and then
Yes.
I also got a huge news story that just broke on Forbes that we definitely need to talk about.
Oh, let's do that first.
Okay, well, the first thing is in Forbes, on Forbes.com today, apparently 11% of government employees in the D.C. area have bought legal marijuana, their survey says. That is huge. Washington, D.C. isn't the largest market for the cannabis industry, but it could be very influential with regards to legalization, obviously for federal and state different issues. Turns out quite a few cannabis buyers are government employees, according to this new research. Consumer research around cannabis surveyed about 1,400 people in the D.C. media market, which covers about 5 million adults in D.C., Virginia, Maryland, West Virginia. Of the respondents, 8% said they have bought cannabis from a legal retailer or from a dispensary. I mean, how huge is that?
That's very big story.
Also, of the survey respondents who are government employees, 11% have bought marijuana legally, slightly higher than the 8% overall rate. And government employees accounted for 16.7% of the total number of buyers. Some 41% of the government employees approved of both legalized adult use and medical marijuana. Only 11% disapproved of the legalization of both categories. I mean, this is huge news. This is a great survey, and I love hearing about these kinds of things.
Yeah, me too. I love this. This is such great news, really great news. Tell us your personal story, Mark, because I think that people, when you hear stories like yours, you realize the power that this plant holds, the key. And I've talked a lot about the Israelis and the research they're doing in
Right.
Spain. The Spanish are so cutting edge when it comes to cannabis. And it's coming to America. There are now companies out there doing incredible work. I just met with a neurosurgeon last Friday at the World Cannabis Conference who really feels that CBD could be the answer to all anxiety issues and can really and truly help people. He has studied the brain and how the brain looks, the brain scans look before CBD and after, and he said there's real science. This is real black and white science.
There's definitely a real thing here. I have a buddy's father who has ALS, and without medical marijuana or edibles or whatever you might want to call it, he wouldn't be able to sleep at all any night of the week.
Yeah.
You know, this stuff is really changing America, and it's helping people in so many ways that I think we probably never thought it could. That brings up my story. I was born with Tourette syndrome, and Tourette's is a neurological disorder. It gives you tics and anxiety and plenty of other things. And marijuana has definitely helped me over the years with my tics, anxiety, and really everything else. I got off of it for 2 weeks just to, kind of go clean for 2 weeks or whatever. And my wife said my tics were out of control, and I was an angry man.
Wow.
So,
wow.
So it's a little bit about me.
I think it's so amazing, Mark, that and I give you credit and courage for sharing that, because I've known you for years and years, and I never knew that about you until you shared that with us many months ago. And I think it's a testimony to you, and it's a testimony to the power of this plant and finding the right strains and finding the right product that works for you.
And you know what? They are doing full tests for Tourette's and other conditions like Tourette's with marijuana. I know they're doing studies right now at Yale, and they're doing studies all over the country to see how this great plant will help everybody.
Right. So one of the things that we understand is that as Americans, because of the bad rap and because of the reputation that cannabis has had,
right,
it unfortunately dilutes the message, and that's why this show is so important to me, because I want people to hear.
People say that marijuana and cannabis and THC and all these other great things lead to other drugs. I don't think that's the case. Number one,
no, I don't
think
either.
If you're responsible about everything or anything in life, it won't lead to something else.
Right. I do think, though, and I have to say that I do think that cannabis, there are people who will become addicted to cannabis, and there are people who are going to be addicted to food, and there are people that are going to be addicted to alcohol, because that's the nature of who we are. But
you know what? If you eat too many carrots, you're going to turn yellow. Bottom line.
Yeah. Well, yeah. And I think that for most Americans, for most of us, if you have that addictive nature,
right,
that will come through in many areas: sex, alcohol, gambling, whatever it might be.
Well, you got my attention now, Frankie, if you didn't have it before.
Yeah. So I think that CBD is something that is helping with the brain and addiction, and it's a new field. So we're talking about the part of the plant that does not get you high, the cannabidiol, the hemp version of the plant, and it's to be continued, Mark. And I always appreciate your honesty and your candor. Thank you for being with us today, Mark Oldman. Give
Always
the website, please.
Check out hemppublicrelations.com.
Okay. We'll be back in just a moment. It's Frankie Boyer. This is Cannabis Talk A to Z with Frankie Boyer. Stay tuned. We'll be right back. And welcome back. Frankie Boyer. Cannabis Talk A to Z with Frankie Boyer. And joining us now is Julie E. Julie E. has a unique, multifaceted experience as a health expert that spans decades, even though she doesn't look like it does. She's a holistic nutritionist, a vitamin expert, an author, and creator of the Stretch Ball. Yes, that ball is her baby. She has a master's in public health and is a registered dietitian, has her own health practice in LA, works with people from all walks of life, trying to find unusual solutions, whether it's to get rid of aches and pains, lose weight, eliminate sickness, and just aging, becoming ageless, aging better. And it is such a pleasure, Julie E. Welcome to the program.
Thank you so much. Thank you for having me. Nice to be here.
So we were just talking with Mark Goldman about the use of, he uses a full cannabis product to help him with his Tourette syndrome.
Okay.
I love CBD products, and I know you do as well. And so people wonder, what is CBD? How much should I be taking? What kind is the best? And all of that. So can we talk a little bit before we even get into anything else? I think it would be kind of fun to talk about the cannabidiol, the CBD product, the hemp product that I talk about a lot on this show. You don't get high from it, but tell us how you tell us how you use it personally and how you're using it in your practice.
Okay, and I've never said this on the air, but I have used regular marijuana back in the cannabis back in the day, and I really don't anymore because you get so much better feelings on every level from CBD. So the way I describe it to people is when you have stress, your nutrition needs are higher. So even just to digest your food or to have sleep or to make energy in your body, when you have stress, you need potentially 3 to 5 or 10 times the amount of nutrition just to do that. So when we take the stress out of your body, which is exactly what CBD does, it calms down your nervous system, makes you feel like you have no stress, makes you happy. When you feel that way, it's as if you had no stress in your body, and your nutritional needs are so much smaller. So you just feel better on less, which is, most people are not eating therapeutic doses of foods and nutrients. So bringing in the CBD just makes everything in the body better. And the other way that I really like to have people understand what CBD does to the body is to compare it to a computer. So we all know what an operating system is, right? You have your Lion or whatever it is, your Mac, it has a name. When that operating system has crashed, you can't use Word or the Internet or Excel. So it doesn't matter if those function perfectly. The operating system has crashed. And your nervous system in your body is like your operating system. So when your nervous system is not working well, or it's frazzled, or you're out of control with stress and anxiety, nothing else in your body, none of your organs and glands or your other programs can work well. So we need to completely clean the slate of your body by calming down that nervous system. And that's one of the things that CBD does. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I love that. I love that. And I love that you're sharing that because that's such an important piece. Now, let's talk about how you take it, where to find the right CBD. You and I both are very partial to CBD Plus by CB Sciences, and they are sponsors of this show, but they do have an incredible quality product. How much do you take, and where do you take it, and how do you take it, and where do you begin? Where do you begin?
Right, where do you begin? You just start taking it, first of all, and you get it from a reliable source. So let me talk about the source first for a moment. I am in my office right now, and I have about 450 different products from at least 40 different vendors. And the products that I use, I find the best of the best. I may use one vitamin from this company and a different nutrient from that company because they do that well. And when I am looking for vendors, my first thing or manufacturers or providers of a product, the first thing I'm looking for is how are they as a company and what do they do from conception to consumption with this product. So from conception, where it's grown, how it's grown, the groundwater, the soil, the water they water it with, or the rain, is it clean? Do they harm it in any way? Are there any pesticides? And then it's everything about how they take it out of the earth, how they manufacture it, the facility, the capsules, the gel caps, everything about it, the container that they put it in. Most people don't know the olive oil, can go rancid if it's in a clear bottle, and that's why you find better quality ones in a dark bottle. Nutrients have a lot of the same properties, so the container that it's in can affect the quality of the product. And so conception to consumption, and then if you're not sure as an individual, then you have to find somebody that you trust that deals in this, like myself or maybe you or another practitioner. And if you trust them, you trust that they found good quality products. And you try it, and if it works, you stick with it. And I think that that's a really important point, because people are buying vitamin C at Costco and CVS and just around around town, and then they're wondering why they still have health problems. It's because what you're taking may actually have good properties within it, but it also comes along with toxic tag-alongs. And therefore, when it gets into your body and you digest and absorb it, it's actually harming your cells more than it's helping. So you may get a short-term benefit with a long-term harm. So that's across the board with any product that we eat, maybe even food, makeup, right? People pay 99 cents for makeup, and other people pay $20 for the same thing because they know the quality. So, price can't always dictate the right. Price can't always dictate it, but you just have to take all of those into consideration, right? And so that's how I find sources and products that I use. And what they do at CV Science is great, and a lot of the products are European organic standards, and they really do good in the world, and they really care about their products. So that says a lot, right? And
absolutely.
How do you? Right?
And they're supporting the farmers in Kentucky right now, which is so great, in the scholarship program that they're creating, which is such a wonderful program, and it really makes you want to buy a product that gives back. It's a company with purpose, and I like that.
A company with purpose. They give back, they educate, they're working with the university, they're doing research studies. Like that's the kind of company I can put my name behind, right? I'm into eco-friendly and saving the earth and being good in the world, doing some good in the world. So I like that about CV Sciences. And so that was my first introduction to it, and then I tried it, and I loved it, and I loved the way I felt. And I think I'm just daring, so I tried, and then I tried a little higher dose and a little higher dose, and then I was like, oh, I feel really good right now. And so, I switched a little. I tried their gel, I tried their capsules, and I experiment a lot on myself before I sell it, recommend it, use it, and with clients and friends and family. And so I usually have the experience already. And so the experience I have with their product in sharing it with clients is first you have to get over the first hurdle. Some people are afraid. I work with a lot of the 40-something women, and they're like, oh, really? Is that safe to take? Well, can I drive after I take it? Can I be around my kids? And the answer to all of that is absolutely yes. It really seems like these people are programmed to think, oh, hemp, it does things to you, and they're used to drinking alcohol. You get, in a way, all the similar benefits as if you drank alcohol, like the relaxation, the happiness, but you are mentally focused and clear, like more sharp than you are without it. And it's amazing what it does to your brain and your clarity. So definitely just using it, and if you're not feeling enough of a benefit, take more, because most people need more than they're taking. And I would say that I describe it like food and water. You have some days, Frankie, that you're more thirsty, and other days where you're more hungry, right?
Right. So you have to play around with it. Absolutely. But it comes in many forms. There's balms now. There's topicals. There's pills, there's gel caps, there's liquids, there's so many different forms of the hemp to take. And we'll continue this conversation. Julie E. is with us. And Julie, what's the best website people can find out more about you?
It's julieehealth.com. So there's 3 E's total in there.
And we'll be right back. Frankie Boyer, Cannabis Talk A to Z. Stay tuned. Welcome back. It is Frankie Boyer, Cannabis Talk A to Z, and I just want to get back to our conversation with Julie E., health practitioner and the woman that found the stretch ball. But I have to say there's a quote. I don't know if you're familiar with this quote from Thomas Jefferson, Julie. It's, "Hemp is of the first necessity for the wealth and protection of our nation." Pretty cool.
I love it.
Yeah, pretty cool quote. I want to go back to your use of Plus CBD. You've been using it for about a year and a half. How has it changed your life?
Oh gosh, have a lot of my own personal, some emotional things going on, starting last year or the year before, and as soon as I started taking CBD, it was just like it's like my happy pill, so to speak. It's really just I started to buckle down and really get focused on some tasks at work and really super efficient and just happy and feeling good all the time. And if I'm not feeling good, or if I get some bad news, or someone says something that rubs me the wrong way, I could just reach out and take a little more CBD, and it's like instantly, it's like, oh, you know, everything's fine. I feel pretty good. That thing is still there. I still have to deal with that, but I'm like calm and happy, and it doesn't make me like grind my body and like cringe at all. It's just like, oh,
right.
Yeah, that happened. It's
so
really amazing like that.
I also just want to share that for sleep, if you take the right dosage for sleep, it can be a wonderful, natural way to just chill your body and, more importantly, restore you, because it's restorative.
Absolutely. So one of the clients that I put on CBD didn't think she could afford it. She was a little bit afraid to do it. And within 2 days, I got an email from her. Is it possible that it could make my sleep amazing? And the next day, is it possible that it could make my vision better? And she was just here the other day, and she said, you can't put a price on either one of those things, especially sleep. And she's been a CBD advocate since the day she started.
Isn't that wonderful?
She will not go without it. She got her husband to take it. She is on it, absolutely. And I've just had more and more results like that. And some people that were fearing it, as I was just mentioning before the break, they're like, can I do it before I take my kids somewhere? They just started out with taking it at night. And I said, you can absolutely take it at night. It's going to enhance your sleep, and if your sleep is good, you're going to wake up feeling good, and your nervous system's still going to be calm. I just think most people want to have the benefit while they're awake of the calm. So I suggest that they also take some in the morning. But if somebody is uncomfortable and they're not sure, then just take it in the evening, because it definitely is going to enhance your sleep. If I know I'm having a late night, like a party or a wedding or a thing where I'm going to be up late, I'll take some CBD before I go to the event, and I might even take some right before bed, because you just have amazing sleep.
Yeah,
it really takes the edge off of everything.
It really does.
Wonderful.
I love it. I absolutely love it. And someone wants to know, can you become addicted to it? And I think that I was talking earlier about we have this built in for many people, that whether it's alcohol, that's the catalyst, sex, food, drugs, gambling, there are many people that have this need to be addicted and obsessive. And I think that one of the great things about CBD is that I think it will help with addiction, and I think it will help the brain with the opioid use, and to help a lot of people that are addicted. And I think that's the miracle of this product.
Absolutely, because most people are not nutritionally savvy. They're not, if they were a car, they might not start every morning, right? They're missing spark plugs or hoses or manganese or selenium. So things are breaking down internally. And as I said, when you get the CBD in, your whole system goes to calm, that you might actually become more nutritionally sound on the same level of whatever you're doing and eating. But my point that most people aren't filled with nutrients, and whatever that is and however it affects each unique person in their own brain, leads to their OCD or their addiction or their all or none behaviors or how they feel about things. And as an adult, it's kind of nice to have a vice. Some people love coffee, some people exercise, whatever it is. If CBD is your worst vice, it's going to be the best thing for you.
Yeah,
And,
yeah.
I wouldn't call it your worst vice. I don't believe there's any actual scientific addictive properties that we know of yet, but we do have receptors for CBD in our brain, so we must have been born to use it. We have some in our immune system, so that means that the body, the cells are actually waiting right there for the CBD to hit the cell so that it can do some work inside your cells, whether it's make energy or make your brain work better. That's what a receptor site is. We have receptors for vitamin A and vitamin E. So when you eat it, it goes to the cell, looks for the receptor, and that's where the action happens. So we have receptors for CBD in our body. So why wouldn't we take some and make our body work better? Obviously, we're
Right.
supposed to have it.
So can we
Right?
talk
And
about
so,
the milligrams of how you take it and how you dose with it? I know you have to play around with it, but what's the standard and the average so that people can understand how little works and how much is too much, that kind of thing?
well, when I start people out, first of all, in my practice, I've been practicing for 30 years, capsules and pills are the easiest thing for people to start with. Liquids, powders, gels, those I consider advanced. When somebody's more into taking nutrition or supplements, they might be more willing to do the liquids and the gels. But I start everyone on the capsules because we are a pill-popping society, and people can swallow a pill much more easier. And they can leave it in their purse and take it if they forget it later in the day or earlier in the day. So I start people on the gold capsules, and I just have people take one. And then, as I was describing earlier, if you're super thirsty, you drink more water than usual. If you're feeling nothing or you still feel stressed, take another one. So you take another one, and some days you might end up taking 4 because you have so much stress and anxiety, and some days you might take 1.
This has
And
been
if I
so
have
wonderful.
somebody use it,
We've got to cut it short, but we're out of time. But will you come back again? This was wonderful information.
Absolutely.
And for more information, you can go to Julie E's website. Go ahead and give that out.
It's julieehealth.com, and all the social media is at julieehealth.
Okay. Thanks so much for being
you.
with us. And we'll be back
My
next
pleasure.
time. This is Frankie Boyer, Cannabis Talk A to Z. Thanks for listening. Make it a great day. And as always, smile.
When there are clouds in the sky, you'll get by.